All right, everybody, welcome to our first session of Better the Devil Who Serves You, which was originally a game I made for a game jam, like really desperately, barely made the deadline. And I never got around to really fixing the game, or because I really love the concept, but I wasn't so sure about a lot of the moves or the playbooks, but I recently got to start working on it. So I'm really excited to play test it with everybody here at the Gauntlet. So we'll start with introductions. My name is Jamie, they, them pronouns. And so I'm really excited to get into this. I just love Butler Cafes. I first discovered one. I've only been to one. I make it sound like I go to a lot. I've only been to one, but I went there, like it was a pop-up at a mall, and I didn't realize until that day that I like being called mistress. Like I had no idea. I went back to the cafe 3 times and got 3 different butlers. It was really great. It was such a fantastic experience. I didn't even, but that was years ago. We just don't have that many Butler cafes here in the Philippines. So we'll go into introductions. We'll go in the order that I see on my screen. So next, Sherry, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Sherry. I use the pronoun she, her, and I'm looking forward to this because it's a little bit out of my, I haven't seen a lot of, let's say, anime like this and stuff, just a little bit. So I'm looking to see what it's like when I actually dive into it. So this should be kind of exciting.
Awesome. And then next, Sam.
Hello, my name is Sam Zimmerman. I use he, him pronouns. I jumped in here because Jamie makes awesome games, and I'm very curious what this is, and I have not had a whole lot of experience at all with this, so we'll see how this goes, and I'm excited.
Awesome. And Joel, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm Joel. I use he, him pronouns. Kind of in the same boat as Sam. I don't have a ton of experience with this, but I've enjoyed, every game I've played with Jamie. I have not been to a Butler Cafe, and I have not been called mistress yet, so we shall see how this campaign goes.
I highly recommend the experience. It's really great. Like it unlocks something in you. And then last but not least, David, who is up very late for us. I really appreciate it.
Hi, my name is David. I use he, him pronouns. I'm really looking forward to this. I enjoy secret demons. I enjoy coffee shop AUs. So I think this will be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Okay, so I will first go over it's a fairly straightforward CATS document. We'll go over the concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. Let me just put the link in the chat. I forgot to make sure everyone had access. And then I will also share it on the screen so that people, I keep clicking on chat instead of share screen because it's a similar sized icon. Okay, so here we are, the CATS document. So the concept is Better the Devil Who Serves You is a Powered by the Apocalypse game about demon lords who have given up their power in order to care for a young witch child. Now, whether that power is like they've given up their political power or they've given up most of their actual like demonic powers, it'll be up to us. And in doing so, they have become Devil Butlers at a cafe because it was our young witchmaster's dream to always have a cafe. So that's how that went. So this is a game that focuses on these key aspects, which is slice of life. So this game is inspired by the genre of anime known as slice of life, though there will be supernatural elements and magic at play here because most slice of life anime is just very much everyday, mundane stuff. But the main focus is on cozy moments, little to no plot, being present and appreciating the small mundane details. So it's really all meant to be very cozy. We're just supposed to enjoy taking care of a young master, taking care of our clientele at the cafe, trying to make sure our rivals from hell don't cause too much trouble, but the trouble they'll probably cause won't be too terrible either. The second thing is running a cafe. The bulk of the game takes place in a cafe that we make together. So most of the moves focus on being of service in some capacity. So all the moves are based on things you would normally say to a client, basically. And the last thing is caring for each other and our young witch master. This is a game that focuses on relationships, basically. So mechanics wise, the game is mainly a straightforward PbtA game, but with some elements of routine and stress taken from Forged in the Dark. There are no stats, however. Instead, we roll plus the number of tokens we are willing to invest. So I'll explain this once we get started. It's a system I took from the game PbtA, which is really good. So all of my PbtA games lately are token-based instead of stat-based because I just love the concept. And because I forgot to mention it when Joel came on, it's slightly different here. I feel like I should already prepare it before we get into it, in that an 8 to 10 is actually a full success, and then an 11 or higher is when things don't go completely smoothly because like your devilish powers get in the way, or you do too much as a demon lord, because how hard is it to be a devil butler after being a demon lord, basically, is the idea. And then a 7 or lower is a miss, or when something shenanigans occur, basically. So I just felt like I had to get that out of the way because I remember how shocked Joel was the first time we played, and he was like, yes, I rolled an 11 plus. And everybody else is like, oh no, he rolled an 11 plus. So, but that's it. Let's see. And then going back to, let's see, our cats document, which I can't get to because of the way the sharing screen works. Okay, here we are. So our aim today will be creating our young witch master, our cafe, and our characters. We'll take breaks in between, and if time permits, we'll have a short prologue, or we may be able to play a part of the game. We'll see. In future sessions, we'll follow routine. So we have morning tasks, a service day at a cafe, and evening tasks. So it's very like Forged in the Dark, where there's like a structure going on. So tone-wise, the tone we're going for is cozy and sweet. The dark histories of our demon lords may be hinted at, but there's meant to be a lot of humor in seeing once powerful demonic beings struggling to work at a Butler Cafe. And some playbooks and moves focus on romance. If you would like to have your characters opt out of romantic entanglements with NPCs, PCs, or both, please feel free to let us know. And as for subject matter, to ensure we'll have a good time and focus on the charming potential of our game, we'll be using the following safety tools. Pending table approval, I asked for this before we started the recording. We have our lines and veils, script change, and an open door policy. So just as a reminder, so we talked about our lines and veils and what they are. So whatever we mentioned for our lines will not show up in the game. Veils, we will just hint at, or it happen off screen. For script change, we have the following tools. We can say stop if we want to take a break. We can pause if we want to check in, ask questions. We can fast forward if we just want to skip to the next scene, or we don't want to go into too much detail with what's going on now. And we can always rewind if we want to retcon or change something. Yeah, so, and we have an open door policy. If you need to step away for any reason, you don't have to let us know why. Just please feel free to step away if you have to. If you can tell us when you're coming back, that's great. If you can't, that's also great, as long as you take care of yourself. But yeah, so, all right, I think that's it for the cats part. Any questions before we move on to creating stuff? Okay. So I will be very frank about the inspiration for the game. It was inspired by all the D&D demon lords I used to use in my D&D campaigns. So each one is based on one that I loved using. And also it was based on, there were these webcomics going around online for a while of this this young witch boy who accidentally summoned a succubus. And then the succubus is like, I guess I'll just take care of you now. So, and the entire comic just like went into like, they just kept collecting more demons to take care of the boy. And I just loved the idea so much that I cannot find the webcomic now though. I kept trying so that I could refer to it. One of those things in the internet, right? If you lose track, that's it, it's gone. So with that, we're going to start with, as soon as my Google Sheets will listen to me. Okay, we're gonna build our Witchmaster first, right? So this is an NPC that I will be taking care of. Oh no, I forgot to fix the drop-down menu. I knew I forgot something. I will go ahead and share the original document first because I still have that, thankfully. Let me just look for it. I knew I forgot something. I was looking at the character keeper yesterday. Oh, it looks really good. And I forgot all of the stuff, but I'll just type it in manually and I'll fix the character keeper next time. So let me just pull it up on screen. I'll just read it out. So we have, this is the older version, but the pick lists are still the same. So we should still be okay. Because if I ask Affinity Publisher to like print out the version I'm working on, it'll take forever. Okay. So we start with, here we go. The child, our beloved Witchmaster. So who is our master? As a group, we go over the choices below and pick what sounds fun and interesting. You can make up something instead, provide brief supporting detail. I had names in my new pick list. I realized like I sort of had more descriptions, but if we want to pick one of these names, we can. But I think it's kind of easier to start with everything else before we go to a name, but how do we feel about that? That's like slightly, okay. I see people agree with me. All right. So I think each of us will choose an aspect of a look. This is the NPC that I will be playing. Oh, I'm sorry. Can people see this? I have to double check the PDF. Is it coming up? Okay. Because I notice sometimes that's not the case. So I'm just checking. Yeah, three parts of a look. So I want to ask, I'll read it out first. So we have imperious and impish, but often breaks out into smiles, impeccably dressed and conscious of fashion, drowning in mismatched clothing and fabric, barely able to move around, soft and sweet and often stammers, overly large and thick glasses and surrounded by floating books, laid back and looks like a typical kid with a handheld video game console sticking out of their pocket, or anything else we want to make up. So I want to ask David, which one is calling out to you out of this list, or if you want to make up something?
There's some quite fun ones in there. I think, though, I think I like the imperious and impish.
Ah, so cute. Okay, so I will select that and copy and paste it. And let me just type it as soon as, there we go. And then Joel, which one would you like to, let me just make it bigger so it's a bit easier to see.
I will say drowning in mismatched clothing and fabric and barely able to move around.
That's so cute. That is such a funny combination. And then so I'll fix this in a bit. And then Sam, which one would you like to choose for our last one for our young Witchmaster?
You had to call me. Joel, you took the one I was going to pick, so now I have to start again. I do like the typical kid kind of outward appearance that they're trying to relay. So laid back and looks like a typical kid.
I really like that. They could be playing Animal Crossing, so, or whatever version we have of Animal Crossing in this universe. Okay, so and then so the idea is that the child has is our master and has the 7 seals of silence, because the idea is they used to go to a witch school, but they got kicked out because they accidentally summoned us, the demons. It depends on how we want to tell the story. Like if it was one demon at a time and we're in the middle of the anime where like we got each demon like after a few episodes, or if our child summoned all of us at once. It's up to us how we want to play that out. But the idea is that they possess the seven seals of silence, right? So, and why do they have it? So we only need to have one reason. Sherry to do because Sherry hasn't picked one yet. But let me read out the options first. So it was the last gift their devil-fearing parents gave them, or it's passed down from one generation to the next, or our master is a half devil, right? And that's why they have the seven seals of silence, or our master is half angel. Maybe they could be the same thing. I don't know. Then they have been chosen by the angels for a great destiny, or it is part of an ancient prophecy, or entirely by free coincidence. Like there's no big reason here. So Sherry, which one is calling out to you?
So I think that the seven seals of silence, it was actually a strange artifact that looked a lot like a game cartridge. And when our master found it at the Witch College, hidden, back behind a lab table in his witch chemistry class, he wanted to see what game it was. He stuck it in, and as he goes through the mid bosses, we have to serve him then after that.
Does he need to defeat the mid boss each time, or?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Each mid boss he defeats some. This is why he got kicked out of school.
Exactly.
I really like this idea. How does everyone feel about it? Yeah. Oh, so cute. He defeats summons and you Lord. It's just so hilarious. I can't get over it. And I think, do we feel like settling on pronouns like he, him, he, they? Like, how are we feeling? Like we're getting slightly closer to the name.
Yeah.
We can always change pronouns. He can be a gender fluid boy. But yeah, I'll go with he, they. And then, so the next one is, so because our young master was kicked out of school, it means that he now has a tutor that takes care of him, right? Who handles teaching stuff about magic. So we choose 1 to 2. So who teaches him magic now? I'll go ahead and choose 1, and then I'll ask David again to choose a second. So I'll read out the options we have. So we have their deceased parents who visit regularly from the spirit world to teach them. So the way I imagine this, it's not a sad thing. They just come by like, hello, son, we're here, just to teach you stuff. The next, a shaman queen who lives next door. The child visits a sorcerer merman regularly. Their best friend from the magic school they were expelled from. So this poor best friend comes over to teach them. A nomadic witch tutor who comes by every so often, and a mysterious voice in the house, right? That just randomly teaches stuff. I know I said I'd pick, but now I'm like, which ones do I pick? I'm going to defer to David first, and then I'll pick the second. So David, which one do you want to pick first?
Damn it, I was relying on that. No, so I think I'm just going to go for the best friend.
Oh,
yeah, I think that's definitely someone I'm interested. I'm just interested in seeing them with another kid their age.
Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. What age are we thinking? Because like, do we want them to be like 8, 6, 10? Like, how old is our young master?
I guess I was sort of thinking middle school age. Not that I really know what that is, but I guess like 12 or something.
Right. How about everybody else? Okay, yeah, because I was about to ask what age is middle school. So when you said 12, I'm glad. So yes. Yeah, because we only have grade school and high school here. There's like nothing. We're just thrown into it.
It's more or less the same. We've got kind of a bit of a mixed system. Where I went to school, we just have primary school and high school. Though some like counties basically do have a like juniors, infants, juniors, and high school, which more or less maps to
Wow. Yeah. We have such a strict like system. Like we're not allowed to have, why do I say we're not allowed? Maybe we are, I don't know. But it's pretty much the same in every school. Unless it's like one of the international schools or something. But yeah. Okay, and then I will choose the second one. There's so many good ones. Why did I do this to myself? I think I kind of like the idea of a nomadic witch teacher who comes by every so often, just so that our poor best friend is kind of the main tutor who has to help out. And I kind of like playing witches, so we will. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have for our NPCs the very important Pinterest board. This is mainly so that Sherry won't spend like the whole game looking for the perfect picture. I hope it doesn't always happen, but that's the hope. So we have a Pinterest board for us to play with. Okay, so going back to our choices. So we have, I'm going to put Ariel Master. No, we're not sure because human age is very difficult for us to perceive, but around 12, right? Okay, so this is the fun part. We get to pick the child's favorite food and drink because it will sort of like form what the cafe is like what kind of food and drink we're gonna offer. So I have here, oh my gosh, I'm glad I had breakfast. I would just go ahead and read it out. So we have choose 2 to 3 food and 2 to 3 drinks. So for food, we have pancakes, parfaits, hala hala, which is it's like a Filipino icy drink. Mochi, pizza, fei candy, kitsune ramen, pixie salad, mermaid pearl ice cream, jumping chocolate frogs, ridiculously high sandwiches, airplane food. I actually really love airplane food, so I had to put that in. And then Roti Prada, elvish ham, human food from cat dreams. I forgot I wrote that anyway. And then something kids usually love and something inherently magical and unique. So I want to ask Sam, which one would you like to pick?
I don't even know what human food from cat dreams is, but I want to find out.
Yes, I think that's why I wrote it, because what does that mean? I think how the cats perceive our food. My cat must have been like asking me to feed them while I wrote that one. So I like that a lot. Okay, so we're gonna put that in. Oh, now I'm thinking of like, we need to have big cats in the cafe. Okay, so next, Joel, what would you like to pick for favorite food?
I'll say kitsune ramen.
Ooh, okay. I like that. I know it's a very particular thing. I'll have to double check what it is. I remembered when I wrote it, and I don't remember now. But I know it's also based on the idea like there's this ramen shop that just shows up mysteriously and then it disappears after you get your ramen, which is how most kitsune stories go in Japan for sure. And then let's see, Sherry, would you like to pick the last favorite food?
Yeah, let's see here. I think that we need a sort of more dessert thing then to go along with our ramen and our human food from cat dreams, because I don't think cats think about dessert so much as they do fish shaped things and that sort of thing. So here, how about I always said it halo because that's what it looks like but you said it's halo.
Yeah, that's right. Halo.
That's like, and it's got that's fruit and ice and sort of all kinds of other sweet things that look delicious put together, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that because aren't they like, kind of highly customized? Like every place that does them has their own special thing of doing it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's super cute. I like that. Yay. Okay, so let me put that in. All right, and then They must learn what cats dream of. I'm gonna put that here. And then, so next we're going to talk about our home together. So this is where we're going to be spending our mornings and evenings to build out the coziness. So our home together.
Are we not going to do drinks?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. I got so carried away. I thought hala hala was a drink. It's not. Oh my gosh. I must give back my Filipino card. So we're going to choose drinks. So I will be brave and go ahead and choose one. This one's slightly easier than last time. So I'm going to read out the items first. Gnome Earth Tea, Fey Green Juice, Fizzy Rainbow Soda, Butterbeer, Kid Coffee, Milo Dinosaur. Milo Dinosaur is like it's an Asian thing. It's really just an excuse to. They have Milo energy drink there, right? Like I'm just double checking. Is it okay? So it's like a chocolatey. It's just as much chocolate as you can pour into a drink, basically, and then they put some more on top. Like it's just this powder based. Not that I think about it, because it has some. It's an energy drink. That's like a lot. Okay, and then next we have Gulaman. I actually don't know. How do I?
What?
What's Gulaman again? Like how do you?
It's like jelly.
Yeah, it's like a jelly based drink, but it's not super sweet. That we have here. Then ocean berry tea.
The jelly is slightly flavorless.
Yeah.
But it's traditionally soaked in something that's syrupy and sugary.
Ah, okay. So there's my partner explaining. Anyway, then we have ocean berry tea, chocolate swirl cake in a glass, layered milkshakes, milk tea with pearls, cheese foam fruit drinks.
Hey, I'm thirsty.
We're ordering milk tea later. And then twilight tea, sunset sand coffee, something kids usually love, something inherently magical and unique. I need to have milk tea. It's just, I can't play this game without. I think it's called boba tea. It's called boba tea in the States.
In the Americas?
In the Americas, yes. So I'm going to choose, oops.
You should have pictures of milk tea.
You want me to put together pictures of?
For them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, they know what milk tea is.
Yeah, but you know.
It's not that bad there. They know what it is, you know.
You need to represent your culture.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just, thank you so much for transferring it over. That's why I went over to, okay. And then next, David, what would you like to pick?
I think I'm going to go for layered milkshakes, because I think, you know, nice visual there.
Yeah, sounds good. I did not have nice drinks for breakfast, and I'm maybe, okay, so definitely ordering later. And then next, Joe, what would you like to pick?
Let's see. I'll say maybe fizzy rainbow soda.
Cute. Yeah, we have such an aesthetic place. I really like it. Okay. Yeah, I even started watching, like, there are these really beautiful YouTube videos of people just making fancy drinks for cafes. They're so much fun to watch. Okay. And then now that we have that, so we can officially go into making our home together. So I will go ahead and read the options before I ask Sam to pick one. But we can choose 3 to 5. We can go all 5 if we want, but you know, we just need about 3. So what we can choose from, or we can make up, is a modern apartment by a train station, filled with books from floor to ceiling, a pocket dimension hidden in an ancient library, by the beach in Mermaid Cove, singing crystals float in every room, posters of all the cool hero witches, a significant collection of arcane action figures and dolls. Every inch is covered in sentient witch fabric, whatever that means. We can decide what that means. A cottage in the middle of the day. Wow, I realized I wrote this before cottagecore became a thing. But anyway, a cottage in the middle of the city that time forgot about. A nearby forest full of the fae and elementals. or something like our own lived experience, or something entirely magical and evocative. Sam, where are you envisioning us hanging out, us freshly freed cartage demon lords?
Well, we need something to ground us in reality, so let's start with a modern apartment by a train station.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's always cozy. Okay. I can already see the lo-fi hip-hop animation going on for it. Okay. And then Sherry, what would you like to choose next?
Ooh, I really think because of, I think that the significant collection of arcane action figures and dolls is definitely a part of our master's life.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. So cute. Okay. And then let's see. David, what would you like to pick?
I think that I'm going to go with a variant on the cottage in the middle of the city that time forgot, and just go for I think maybe like you sort of mentioned with the Kitsune ramen thing, that the actual like cafe bit itself just has that slightly kind of out of time feel.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. So, like, do you feel like it's still very cottagey? Oh, wait, out of time. There we go. Yeah. Like it's not quite connected to everything else, or like, how do you feel that plays out?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those sort of, yeah, I guess like kind of a timeless feel to it, and maybe no one's quite sure like what was here before it was this cafe.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. So sorry, just to clarify, we're talking about the home that we live in, but
Oh, sorry, this is the home itself.
yes,
Sorry,
yes, yes.
no, that's cool.
No, it's okay.
In
It's
which
okay.
case, no, in which case I will pick something slightly different.
But let me
I
transfer
think,
that to the cafe one already. No
yeah,
worries. Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm going to go then for the beach in the Mermaid Cove. So I think the city itself is kind of, yeah, like a coastal city.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, very cool. I like that. Where was that? Okay, here. Yeah. So we're by the train station, but it's just a train ride away to get to the Mermaid Cove. I really like that. It's very cute. And then, Joe, would you like to pick the last one, or I might pick one for our home together?
Yeah. I like the idea of finding out what sentient witch fabric is.
I don't know what possessed me when I typed that. So I'm very interested also. Do you have an idea of what it looks like, or does it change, or?
My initial like picture, whatever, is kind of like wuxia films, probably after playing Hearts of Woodland, where it's just drapes of like silky fabric in doorways that are just constantly moving in like a breeze that isn't actually there.
I like it. Yeah, because in our last game we kept saying robes swirling over and over again. So here we are. But I like that because I was watching a few and I realized, wow, there are a lot of shots from below where they just like dramatically leave, right? I love it. Okay, and then
So when we say a modern apartment and then we've got the fabric all over, is it like one of those like loft apartments with really high ceilings and there's just this fabric that drapes everywhere and over all of the furniture? Like even if you don't, it's not on the couch until it goes to sit down on the couch and then it lays itself down, between you and the pristine couch that you never touch, sort of thing. I'm just trying to think of.
yeah.
Fabric is sort of an antithesis of a lot of modern design, but if you did something like that, you might get away with it.
Yeah. Oops. Bless you. Okay. All right. So I think I think that makes a lot of sense. I really like that. And we'll discover what it is, what keeps moving around. And then, so next we're going to um, build our cafe together. So to build our cafe, we just need 3 to 5 aesthetic things. We already have one that is slightly out of time, out of place. I really like that. And then we also choose our clientele, right? So who are the main people who show up? We can, there can be new but people or other people, but these are the main people who show up at our cafe. So let me read the options for our charming place of work, right? The cafe. So wooden panels with intricate engravings, antique furniture and kitchenware, a dizzying array of modern coffee equipment, a simple and rustic set of tools and furniture, mismatched chairs and charming knickknacks, photography of the city over the years, delicate paintings of wildlife, or maybe we have a charming bird's eye view of the city from this cafe, and a warm and cozy or a warm or cozy countryside view. Clientele must know the secret route in order to get to the cafe, so it's not something that anybody can just stumble into. A bustling train station nearby. So if we choose that, we could say that we're both like near the train station and near the cafe. Then vials and jars filled with magical secrets, a small army of lazy and sweet cats. I am tempted about this because of the food choice. The next, familiars hiding in the nooks and crannies, a series of portals that randomly open to strange and beautiful places, or mouth-watering dishes from different times and places just decide to show up when we want. So let's see, David, I'll go ahead and do you feel like you want to clarify further about the out of time feel and timelessness, or do you feel like that's good?
Yeah, I think I'm going to kind of double down on that, I guess, and go for the antique furniture and kitchenware.
Yeah, I like
it's got
that.
Very old-fashioned aesthetic.
Oh, so cute. Okay. I really like it. Antique furniture. Okay. Cannot type today. It's okay. I haven't finished my tea yet. We're all right. Okay. And then next, let's ask Sam, what would you like to pick?
I think that we have to have our vials and jars full of secrets and magical concoctions and random things that may or may not make their way into drinks. Who knows?
So good, so good. I really like
if you
that.
order off menu, you might get something special.
Oh yeah, we have a secret menu or off menu thing. Okay, very cool. There's actually I haven't actually been to it, but there's like a bar nearby. You can't even just walk in off the street. You have to know where it is. It's hidden behind another store. Makati is full of like obnoxious places like that. But it's called the Blind Pig, and they don't have a menu. You just tell them what kind of alcoholic drink you want, and you can be as weird as, I want to have breakfast like in a drink, and they'll put maple syrup and rum or something. Or you can be as big as, I want the color purple, and they will make a drink based on that. Anyway, I kind of like the idea. Like, we have those vases and jars to just make up stuff off menu if people want. Okay, and then Joel, what would you like to pick next?
I have to go with a small army of lazy and sweet cats.
That's so cute. I just love the idea so much. We'll all dream the food for us, and then we just make it based on what they're dreaming of. And Sherry, would you like to pick the last one?
Sure. There's so many good ones, but I really do like the idea of the bustling train station nearby, that even though this place is out of time, people are passing it by all the time. And when the time is right, they notice us and come in, kind of idea.
Oh, yeah. Right. I like that. That's how we know it's the last train right.
Exactly. Like this is a last stop for.
Ooh, okay. I like that idea. Cafe is at the last stop. Train. What do you call it? System? Train line. Yeah. Okay. I also noticed in the chat the combination of cats and vials. Yes, that is true and dangerous. So can you imagine the cats also like push it like, you need this drink. I know you're gonna put this one, but it's gonna be this. I'm just gonna put this in. Cat pushing vials. What could go wrong? Okay. So I really like what we have so far. And then we have our clientele, our most esteemed guests. So we can choose 2 to 3. We have a motley crew of regulars from all walks of life, high school students from a nearby magical school, magical mercenaries for hire, political movers and shakers, young royalty hiding in the city, anthropomorphic animals, human warlocks who have sold their souls, the fae in human disguise, accountants who work for magical institutions, elemental djinn taking a break between contracts, typical office workers / salarymen, students cramming for magical law school. Can you imagine the pressure in the cafe? Anyway, and then creatures of folklore and myth, retired relic hunters, magical golems coming from their shift, unicorn trainers, modern alchemists, ladies who lunch. Maybe I should also put something who brunch. We could, if you want to have that instead. Wizard millennials, whatever that means. Retired witches, seers and fortune tellers, modern day barb rockers. Right. So let's see. David, which one is calling out to you?
Honestly, lots of them, but I think I am tempted to go for young royalty hiding out in the city just as a callback to our fellowship game, but
Oh, that's kind of cool. This could be their AU, David. Don't worry, I'll pick it. You can pick whatever you want. I'll get the Roy.
No, I am going to go for I'm going to go for students coming from magical law school. It was a toss up between that and the high school, similar but slightly different. I think I'm going to go for magical law school.
Yeah. And so if things get out of hand, then right, if we affect their concentration, that could create interesting tension. Okay, so there we go. And then let's see. And then Joel, which one would you like to pick?
I will say something, or retired witches. Yeah. Sweet old ladies.
Aw, that's nice. Yeah, who are giving unnecessary advice to those who are trying to study. I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Where did I put that? This is why I usually have drop-down menus.
Next to last line.
Okay, there we go. Yes, I see it. Thank you so much, Sherry. Such good eyes. Okay. And then, Sam, which one would you like to pick?
I want to know what a magical golem would order at a cafe. So I would love to see some magical golems coming home from their shift.
Yeah, oh, so cute. Hanging out with the cats. I'm dying. Okay. Yeah, very good. I'm gonna cheat and also sort of say like we have a few runaway royals at least. Like maybe it's not a thing, but I'm just gonna put here runaway royals. Reference to fellowship. I'm really addicted lately to like putting in characters from different games. the gauntlet lets me do that. So I'm gonna do that. Okay. And yeah, so that is, I'm going to double check. Yeah, because it goes into, yeah, that's basically our clientele, our cafe, our home together. Do we have any questions? Anything we would like to add or put together? I think we have like a lot to go with. This is really cute stuff. Yeah, okay. So before we get into creating our characters, picking our characters and stuff, how about we go ahead and take a break, right? So we'll take a we'll take a 10-minute break. I'll see you all in 10 minutes. All right, so we're back from our break, and we are going to go into character creation. Okay, so we have only 4 playbooks because I wanted to see if it worked before. So if I had stuff to fix, I'd only fix 4 playbooks, is the concept. So let's see. I think for everybody to have an idea for what the playbooks can offer, I'll give a brief rundown. So let me share it on the screen. So the first one is She of Many Eyes and Mouths, right? So your Devil Butler was once She of Many Eyes and Mouths, but now they are. So this one, and witness of the truest sight and sound, seeing into the hearts of man, she whispers from many mouths, revealing man's darkest secrets and wisdom. So this is a playbook that's supposed to be the cool and calculated beauty, basically, is the idea. And so an idea for if this playbook is one that would suit you, I think, is to take a look at, for each one, how you became a demon lord, your dream for the cafe, and how one gains tokens. So I'll break that down for each playbook. So for She of Many Eyes and Mouths, these are just suggestions. You can always make one up, but the idea is how they became a demon lord, centuries of brilliant strategy and merciless politicking, shadowy connections and broking of many dark deals, creating the perfect storm of events to make my succession inevitable, or something featuring complex brilliance and incredible patience. And their dream for the cafe is probably something like to be featured prominently in the media and regularly be the talk of the town, to qualify for the cutthroat annual Butler competition, to maximize efficiency and customer satisfaction, or pure perfection of some kind. So how they gain tokens. So you can gain, I should go over this mechanic really briefly. I said that we do not use stats. So instead what happens is, and I have to say this is stolen from PbtA, so I can't take credit for coming up with it. If you do certain actions, you can earn 1 to 3 tokens, and it's up to you how many tokens that is. So each of us have 2 similar ones. The first one is your devilish nature leads you to creating bizarre solutions for mundane problems. So when you go over the top to solve a mundane problem, and how we treat our young master. So in this case of this playbook, educate or advise our young witch master. The other ones they have is boss someone else around, strive for perfection and excellence, admit to a flaw you wish you didn't have. Yeah, so that's our first playbook. And then the second one, Lord of Love and Permanence. I think that's already kind of obvious from the from the description, from the name. So of the passion and all its sound of fury, desire turns into the sharpest weapon, heartbreak builds and destroys the empires of man, and lust leads intention astray. So how they became a demon lord, flirted and smooched my way to the top, harnessing man's desires and turning into a perfect pet of destruction, waited for the other demons lords to fight bitterly among themselves before waltzing in and taking over everything at the perfect moment, something effortless and charming. So their dream for the cafe is to have a harem of regular customers who love me in the purest sense, I'm now imagining the golems doing that. It would be adorable. And anyway, next, to make sure all the other Devil Butlers find love everlasting, so you want to become a matchmaker. To help the young Witchmaster find their family again. So once we establish this, then we mean, something is off about the family, or relating to love in some way. So this one is related to pampering or spoiling our young master, bringing out the beauty in someone, striving for love and friendship, or admit to a dark truth you wish you didn't have. Then the third one is my favorite because it's based on Lord Jubilex, who is my favorite demon lord in the D&D world. It's basically because I love gelatinous cubes and slimes, and so when I found out there was a whole demon lord. Anyway, so the prince of slovenly shapes, of slime and ichor and what light rots within, faceless and shapeless, of consuming all and leaving nothing but despair for the wretched and hollow-hearted. So how they became a demon lord, the responsibility was forced upon me against my will. The last demon lord died accidentally of one of my acidic piles of ooze. I won the demon lord lottery in my district, or something completely accidental and speaks to my distinct lack of ambition. So the way that they gain tokens is, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the dream for the cafe. So the dream for the cafe is to not have to work for a week and have a lazy holiday together, or to create a geek club and have their headquarters at the cafe, to create a happily permanent chaos in the cafe that feels like home, or something simple and silly. Then gaining tokens, basically you want to nap or laze about with your master, or succumb to boredom and act out, strive for the simple things in life, or admit to a bright dream you wish you didn't have. And lastly, the Bestia's Dark Heart. This is the butler that thinks they're in a shonen anime, basically. Of the darkest and most bestial instincts, all who resist their conquest wail and weep and gnash their teeth. Their dark strength will break all and remake them in cruelty. So how they became a demon lord could possibly be defeated every warrior army that stood in my way, challenged the strongest demon lord to sudden death, drove every other demon lord to despair with my howling song, created complex trials of strength and rose effortlessly to the top, something violent and competitive. So their dream for the cafe could possibly be to set up regular gaming tournaments in the cafe, to convince everyone that a dog cafe is obviously the best thing ever. How could we have these cats? Not that I think we choose this one. Anyway, to make sure the menu only serves healthy food and desserts. Oh, we are off to a bad start with the halo and everything. And something ridiculously cool. And so how they gain tokens, help our young witchmaster go after their dreams or become stronger, declare rivalries and act on them, strive for passion and living loud, or admit to a deep seat of fear you wish you didn't have. So that's our shonen protagonist, who is obviously in the wrong anime. But yeah, so those are our playbooks. Which ones are calling out to us? Is there anything that we're really like, I need to play this playbook?
I guess I can start, and I was looking at either She of Many Eyes and Mouths or the Bestiary's Dark Heart, one of those two.
Cool. Okay.
The two that kind of jumped out to me were Lord of Love Impermanent or the Prince of Slovenly Shapes.
So we have one each on all four and like a half each on all four. Okay,
Yes.
We've gotten nowhere.
Yeah. So, and I'm kind of She of Many Eyes or Slovenly Shapes. Sounds fun. So.
The two that were most appealing to me were She of Many Eyes or the Lord of Love Impermanent.
Ooh. Yeah.
So I was the only one who called out Bestiary's Dark Heart, so I guess I can grab that one to
go be our shonen protagonist. That sounds good. That sounds good. All right, so we have one that we settled on. Who was looking at She of Many Eyes and Mouths? It was
I think Joel. Wait, was it? I was, and
I
David
think
was.
David.
Yeah, there we go, those two. Because I remember Joel wanted the napping one or the flirting one. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I don't know. It's like one of us has to choose something that determines the thing for everyone else. It's a perfect triad.
We're all in a playbook standoff.
Yes.
This is what happens when I only have 4 playbooks. But, you know.
I will be bossy, and I will take the bossy playbook. See as many eyes and mouths. How's that?
Nice. Okay. And then so that leaves David with
Lord of Love Impermanent.
yay. Okay. And then would Joel be okay with our slime demon lord?
Oh yeah, I don't get enough naps.
Yeah. Okay, so basically in order to generate the character, we'll go through our pick list. I'll give everyone a few minutes, but I just want to bring up strange friends and stranger rivals. Whoops, I forgot to put an S. That is also based off Forge in the Dark, but basically these are NPCs. You choose which one is a friend and choose which one is a rival. I will enjoy playing them out. And we'll leave the devilish bond for after we introduce all our characters, and then you just choose one move to start with. Right, that's basically it. So it's pretty straightforward. I'll give everyone a few minutes. And so take your time. I just saw the message from Sherry on Pinterest. I did not know you could send messages on Pinterest.
It's pretty much just sending pictures. So,
which is how I use Twitter. So as a DM thing. So. How are we doing?
These moves are really awesome, and I can only choose one, which is making me cry.
Anxious. Oh no. Yeah, plus I'm still experimenting with the XP, so I'm not sure if it'll be fast to get to the next one or not, because I was kind of like, do I want it to be a cozy game that takes a while to level up, or yeah, so I like what Sam chose as the move. Perfect shonen protagonist. Okay, so I know Sam's done. How about everybody else?
Looking for my demoness picture.
Which is, of course, very important. I already plugged in a couple of NPCs into the NPC tab. Also, like the Pinterest board is in the NPC tab under the NPC link up in the upper right.
If we came up with characters, should we throw them on the NPC tab as well?
Yeah,
The...
yeah, that would be super awesome.
Cool.
No pressure to have the perfect picture. I'm happy to do that for you. But if you're like Sharon, you enjoy finding those pictures, please feel free. So,
Don't know what my deal is, but
one time I dared to run a game for Sherry and I didn't have space for the character image for the portrait. The sheer
the darkest
disappointment.
day.
I still remember the game, wasn't it? Like, I think it was once more into the void, was it? No, I think I had learned my lesson by then. I'm trying
Yeah, I can't remember. You never made the mistake again, though, so it was fine. It was fine.
During our magical school playtest, yesterday, was it? No, the day before yesterday, we spent almost an hour looking for the perfect pictures for everybody.
Joel has an idea board that is magnificent.
You don't mess around with pictures.
Mm-mm.
It is important stuff.
The band Hellcats, I'm so happy. I just love seeing these characters come to life. So cool. The picture David shows, I was hoping someone would pick it. It's like
Good.
okay, do we feel like we're ready to introduce our characters? Okay. I know the moment of truth is when Sherry has both pictures. I don't know what I did making more games where you need to get not one but two. I have added to the
Difficult.
But yeah. Oh yeah, names are hard. We don't have a name for our young witch master yet, but it's okay. We can just call him young witch master for now, and then we will figure out a name later. Okay, so let us go through introductions. It's okay if you haven't figured out everything, and I always say this, like, if we play and then by next session you feel like changing a move or changing an aspect, feel free to do so. This is, I am not your D&D boss. You can change stuff. So yeah, okay, so let's start with Sherry, if that's okay.
Sure, except that I didn't get my name because that is the hardest part. I thought I would come
Yes.
back to it, but I haven't done it yet. So unnamed Devil Butler. Let's see here. So the Demon Lord look is a cloud of whispers and red lightning. Of course, it's gold lightning, but I'll fix that. And a pool of darkness that collects the eyes and mouths of its enemies. So menacing. And then my Demon Butler look is bespectacled. Oh, I'll have to change that. But tall and lean and always impeccably dressed. So I think she very much wanted to choose that look that very much said cafe, and they couldn't look away from her. That was what perfection would be. So she has a ridiculous maid outfit on.
Yeah, I can Photoshop glasses on if you like.
Oh,
Like,
if you would, that would be perfect.
because it's such a good photo.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think
Yeah.
you could put them on there pretty quick.
Yeah, that's pretty
So-
easy. No worries.
And it had a cat, so we've already established that. And then how I became a demon lord was creating the perfect storm of events to make my succession inevitable. What I love about our witch master is their uncanny insight and intuition, and their interest in games of skill. My dream for the cafe is pure perfection. For her, it is always choose the next thing on the menu and, essentially create the perfect one so that we have that one completely taken care of.
So do you feel like we haven't quite hit the perfect menu? Like,
right. Well,
yeah.
we've hit the perfect menu, but we haven't perfected each item on it.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's
I
the
like
main
it.
thing. So whereas we may name the episodes, in her head, they're always named after what item is being perfected for this time.
Oh, like Midnight Diner. They name each episode after the meal.
Oh, do they? Okay,
Yeah.
so something like that.
Yeah,
But, it would be like lemon meringue pie, and then that's. So yes, that sounds great. I didn't even know that. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to watch it. Let's see here. And then my strange friends and rivals. I did my friend first, and it's a devil hunter with devil blood in their veins, and I like them because how do you say? Because he's a distant relative, if that makes any sense. So I sort of have a little maternal reaction to him, if that makes any sense.
Like
It's
he's a
something
distant nephew or something.
Exactly. So at least that's what I tell myself. I don't really think about it too very hard, but I know I can feel that we share some blood. And then my rival is an up and coming devil politician and former apprentice. And he shows up and smirks on occasion, but he'll get his when the young master gets to him in the mid boss. So
Absolutely.
and then let's see here. We'll go back to the bonds, I assume. But I chose the move morning taskmaster, which is whether or not I like mornings. I tend to do my best work at the crack of dawn when everyone else is awake. When I'm asked to choose from my list of morning tasks, I also have the following options available: study the competition, where I describe which cafe Butler and Demon Lord were studying and how. And I can take some service tokens, and then practice makes perfect, which is I can sneak to the cafe early and practice away from the others. They can't see how much effort I really put into this, and I gain a prestige point. I don't know what these are, but it's it sounds like something that the character would do. So
Exactly.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, so basically the Demon Lord tokens are what the Devilish Service tokens are what you roll with. The prestige point is how you earn XP, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, I don't know if 8 is too much by bringing it out to 5. That's what the playtest is for. So
Exactly.
but basically there is no marking XP in a miss. Like I'm experimenting with that.
Okay.
In my mind, the Devil Lords, it's hard for them to learn things through mistakes. They're very prideful beings. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay. And then I really like this so far. Super awesome. Don't worry, I will take care of the glasses. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And then our Lord of Love Impermanent. So, oh, so cute. I love this name. Okay. Go ahead, David.
Yes, so I am playing, he goes by Vel. It's short for Velvet Kiss of Dawn, because he has to have an overblown demon name. His look in demonic form is dripping in jewelry and sweetness and the softest sound of silken leather. And his look in in his Devil Butler form is something charming, but perhaps a little dangerous. So I think he's got as sort of evidence in the picture, he has a smile, but there's always just that like slightly too much teeth showing. And yeah, the warmest eyes behind large glasses, which again, they're that sort of like possibly veering slightly beyond warm and into, you know, a potential fire hazard. But yeah.
I like that. Also awesome. And how did you become a demon lord?
Yeah, so he became a demon lord by harnessing man's desires and turning it into the perfect pet of destruction. So yeah, I think, you know, very much that idea of the sort of blanked on the word there, but yeah, that sort of like seductive and controlling element when he rose to power, I think.
Yeah, I like.
So yeah, and for what I love about our Witchmaster, it's their sweet jokes and gentle nature, and their innocent crushes on the sweetest people. I think very much that purity and earnestness in them is what appeals to Vel.
Yeah, I feel like before we get to the next part, I have to ask our resident experts. Do you think there's something going on between Crystal and our young Witchmaster? Does someone have a crush on someone, or is it purely just friendship? Oh, and Crystal Sinclair is the tutor, the former classmate. So now she's forced to come over and teach our young master. So do you think there's something going on between the two of them, or?
I don't think so at the moment, but I think maybe that's just because, you know, they I think there could be certainly in future.
Okay, noted. All right, and then
I'll put it this: I think certainly I think maybe Crystal has feelings towards our young master, whether that is yet reciprocated or you know, I think is yet to be seen.
It could explain why she's putting up with so much and coming over to to help him out. Okay, very cool. All right, and then next you were going to talk about your dream for the cafe.
Yes, it's to make sure that all the Devil Butlers find love everlasting, because you know, we've got to get some matchmaking going on.
100%, absolutely. Okay, and what about your strange friends and stranger rivals?
Yeah, so my strange friend is Dina, a devil hunter possessed by an avenging angel, who I think in true, you know, omnipotent demon hunter style has absolutely no idea that we're all demon lords in disguise.
I love that.
And for my rival, I have gone for Chantel, an ex-lover and one of the reigning demon lords. So I think that they I'm just thinking what sort of they I think that they are a sort of a demon lord of I think of like, yeah, magic and knowledge and forbidden knowledge.
Nice. I like that a lot. Okay, and what move did you choose?
So I have gone for Confessions of a Would-Be Lover. Our esteemed guests seek you out specifically for your flirtatious charm. I cannot promise anything on that front, but when asking your customer, how are you today, roll with advantage, roll 3 dice, keep 2 of them for the final result. When you tell your customer, my lord, lady, if I may be so bold, you can choose one from the following options, even on a miss. You reveal something truly vulnerable about yourself and remove 2 stress, or one of your fans shares this moment online and they gain 2 prestige points.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking forward to this. This was the first game where I put in a lot of social media stuff because it felt appropriate for the genre. So Very cool, very cool. I'm just gonna... Yeah, so we have two devil hunters, Sammy and Dina. Do they know each other? Are they rivals? Are they partners? Do they just, they're just colleagues, they don't work together? What are we thinking?
I'd put in a vote for rivals because that's much more fun. From my perspective, from the perspective of obviously having them end up together, but
Yeah, that's true. How do you feel about that, Cherry? Like, because it's your nephew.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, awesome. I'll take note later. All right, nice. And then next, our Prince of Slovenly Shapes. Ooh, look at this picture. Perfect slime. Okay, so Joel, go ahead and introduce your character.
Yeah, I am playing Jell, who uses she, they pronouns. Her name is Abruptly Short. Her demon lord look is an obsidian black skeleton with like eyes of acidic fire and acidic and foul slime creeping into every crevice and opening. I kind of imagine like the black skeleton moves at a normal pace and then the slime's just a little slow to catch up and kind of like trudges along after it. My Devil Butler look is androgynous with thick hair hiding my features and a nose in every imaginable book and an incredibly shy demeanor. I became the Demon Lord because the last Demon Lord died accidentally in one of my acidic piles of ooze. I was just like walking ahead of me and wasn't really paying attention to my puddles behind me, and he just kind of stepped in them. And what I love about my Witchmaster is their laziness and appreciation of the present and their love of strange things, because we're all strange and they love us. And my dream for the cafe is to not have to work for a week and have a lazy holiday together. Then let's see, my strange friends and stranger rival. I have Hezru, an accidental spawn who's quite attached to me. So I imagine just like a cute little flubber type creature. And then my other option was a body of ice and sharp edges with a voice of thunder.
Oh, I think I made a mistake. It's supposed to be the same list. Yeah. That was my mistake. Yeah.
That's the list of like one of my qualities. So
yeah.
I was like, what, me?
It was you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can apply that idea to one of these things though. One of these.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I will copy and paste it right after. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can fix it. I think my rival is going to be Lily, a regular customer who loves pop culture as much as I do. We just have like conflicting pop culture stuff that we like, and mine's obviously better, but she won't listen to me.
Absolutely. Right. So we're going to have, that's going to be a lot of fun. I apologize for the drop down menu stuff.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
I can fix it. So.
But yeah. Okay. Very cool. And let's see. And the move you picked was...
Oh, yes. The move I picked was, were you going to eat that? You have a unique and disturbing way of cleaning up any mess. Describe how your demonic slime will completely clean the area. Roll plus service tokens. On an 8 to 10, it's done in a blink of an eye. I can do stuff like clear stress, learn a new technique and get tokens, or reveal how my slime saves the day. And on an 11 plus, something went wrong. Choose one from above and one from below. I have the chance of creating another adorable slime spawn, which is the whole reason I took the move. My stomach reacts poorly to whatever I hoovered up, or I forgot, or you forgot you ate something, or someone. That comes right back up. So that should be interesting.
Absolutely. So I got this move. I made this based on the Changeling game, because in the Changeling game, there's a move for someone to like lick and clean stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to. So it's based on that. Okay. Very cool.
Wait a minute. It's based on the corpse grinder. Okay.
Yes. Just made it cute.
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, the bestiary's dark heart. So Sam, tell us about her.
Yes, Kavira, child of the Razor's Edge, because she needs to have an obnoxious and ridiculous shonen name. And so she is our bestiary's dark heart. My name is a name that I earned through battle and charm. Her demon lord look, she has snarls and hisses that cause the soul to shiver, and claws gleaming chromatic. I'm kind of imagining that this big sword is actually just one of her claws. She is relatively young in terms of demon lords and very, very ambitious. And for my Devil Butler look, she has the eyes of a predator that come out when needed, and a mess of colors and fashion and a shit-eating grin. I'm also imagining that she appears the same age as our witch, and so
Ooh, nice.
she looks like she's like early teens, middle school. What I love about our witch master is they think I'm the coolest, and they share my love of comic books.
Oh, so cute. Along with the dolls and the figures, that's gonna be super awesome.
Yeah. My dream for the cafe is to make sure that the menu only serves healthy food and desserts. And so I feel like I'm going to have a rivalry here already with Sherry's character.
Incompatible. Awesome.
My strange friend is Takashi, who is I've reskinned that as a hell cat, who is their own master, one of our cats, and my rival is Alexa, who is a one of our retired witches who knows the secret of my power.
Do you have an idea for what that secret is, or are we gonna play to
I
find
have no
out?
idea.
Nice,
So
nice.
we're gonna play to find out that one.
Cool.
And then the move I took was they call me boss. I have a gang of loyal friends who want to see me succeed in life. So I have this gang of hellcats that live in the cafe with us that I'm friends with their boss, and so they try and help me. And so I can basically add or subtract one from a roll.
Nice. I love that so much. All right, this is so exciting. Okay, so those are our characters. I think what we're going to do is I think we have enough time to do the morning part of the day. I'm not sure if we can get into the service day itself, which is fine. That's totally cool. But we'll take a break first. So let's take our last 10-minute break, and then we'll come back and get right back into it. So I'll see you all in 10 minutes. All right, and we're back from our break. And so what I would like us to, I'm just reviewing.
I think we do want to do bonds, don't we?
That's it. I forgot that. Thank you, Sherry. You're always here to save me. Everybody's always here to save me. So let's do bonds real quick. Let us start with, oh, so cute. You have a name for your character. Okay, so let's start with Sherry's character. What are your bonds?
Okay, so my bonds are, I used you to become politically powerful. Why have you forgiven me? So I almost think that has to be our Lord of Love.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah, so I suppose I used you. Why have you forgiven me?
I think it's I think that there's a limit to how long Vel holds onto grudges for. maybe, in mortal terms, it's probably a little while, but I think, it's definitely, though, taken with the the all's fair in love and war type attitude. It's
That sounds awesome. Okay.
Very cool. I like that. I like that. And
And-
then your second question. No, I'll give you time to write down the info. No worries.
All's fair and love. I like that. Let's see. And then I had never admitted my unseemly feelings for you. Why do I deem you unworthy? Oh, I wonder if it's that I feel particularly protective of that horrible little troublemaker. I don't know why. I always have. I've watched him from afar. Or I've watched her from afar, excuse me. So I think that would be our bestiary's dark heart, who is Kavira. Yeah, that's what I guess. And does that seem okay? Yes.
That is perfect. That is exactly
Yes.
what I was thinking.
Yes. So she sort of thrills whenever you do succeed. She doesn't understand why.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so, and then our Lord of Love and Permanence. Vel, what are your two questions? Sorry, that's Vernon. Oh, so sorry, David. We'll go to your bonds.
Yeah, no, sorry, I was just went through my tabs in the wrong order, so I hadn't unmuted myself before I went in to start editing.
No worries, no worries.
So I stole the heart of someone important to you and discarded them. Why have you forgiven me? Ooh. Yeah, I don't have anyone specific in mind with this. If anyone is interested in that, pointing at them, that would be cool. But
So our shonen protagonist.
I could take that if you don't
Yeah.
have anyone else to throw it at.
yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. I like that.
Can we go full wuxia and say that I've forgiven you because I've forgotten? Or I didn't know it was you, or some telenovela nonsense.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I like that. So we haven't hit real forgiveness. It just hasn't.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Very cool, very cool. Sorry, Myrna's just like yelling a lot here. So like, Myrna, I swear. Okay. Next question.
It's ambiance for our cat cafe.
Yes.
It's true. This is what it sounds like. Myrna,
What does it sound like?
we have cats in our cafe. We have hell cats in our cafe who push out vials full of magical stuff. Brennan. Okay. Anyway, there's also a can of tuna out, so he's like going insane. Sorry, David, your second question.
I was madly in love with you once, but you rejected me. Why won't you tell me you want to be with me? So again, for that one, I think I'll solicit volunteers if
I'll take that one if no one wants it.
Yeah, that's cool by me.
I think like I rejected you because in my mind, like I'm an ugly ooze and I'm not worthy of love. So like I wanted you to be with someone better.
But now, why won't you tell Vel that you want to be with Vel?
I think maybe like I've seen you like with other people, whether romantic or not, or if, you know, Jel thought it was romantic or not. And they kind of think like, oh, he's happier without me now, so it's too late. They've missed their chance at love.
Oh no. And I'm wondering, because Vel is trying to matchmake all the butlers, is it just complicating the situation by
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
by trying to help Joe find someone?
It's
Mhm.
extra painful.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. And adorable. I can't wait to get into it. So all right, and then for Gel, for our I just love the name Gel for our slime demon. So cute. So what so you have your devilish bonds. Who would you like to ask them?
yeah. I don't know for the first one, how does my disgusting nature charm you? Like if anyone has any ideas for that. The second one though, what dreams and ambitions do you have for me? I thought might be appropriate for Sherry's character, since your drive is pure perfection. And
Yes. And you have so much potential. You can shape yourself any way you want, and you destroy whatever you touch. What could be more magnificent? If only you would put a little effort behind it.
as Gel's weeping that she destroys everything she touches.
Advantage, dear. That's an advantage.
And your name is Miss Bond. Okay. And then how does my disgusting nature charm you speak to anyone?
Yeah, I think that I can go with that one. I think I think that for Vel, it is Gel's uniqueness and just being something, you know, something different and also I suppose a bit sort of tying into sort of the same idea as as just now the sort of the idea that you know that Gel can kind of become whoever they want to be, and that's you know a cool thing.
Interesting. Oh no, we're just like solidifying the ship, which I saw in the chat does not have a compatible name. So that's true.
It is not Endgame.
So cute, so cute. All right, and then for Kavira and your bonds.
Yeah. So if we're going back and solidifying things that are already there, you saw me at my weakest. Why do you still admire me, Miss Bond?
I think because it was what should have been an utter defeat. You should have learned your lesson, but you got right back up. And that was the moment that I had to watch thereafter.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of imagining that moment for Miss Bond, like, oh, like when they tell the camera, there's no way that she'll be able to come back from this, blah blah blah, because of so and so and so and so, like Roni Kenshin specifics, and then she just got back up.
She just got back up.
Like that really shot that anime
really
moment.
big, yeah.
And then everybody watching is like, oh yeah. So truly, I really like making this playbook because I really wanted it to feel like it's a different anime. we just got lost. I always like those slice of life where they have the one character that should be in a different anime. But yeah. So, and then your second one.
I have a soft spot for you. Why have I sworn to protect you and help you become as strong as me, Gel?
I think the initial soft spot was like our shared, because I want to say you enjoyed comics, right? Yeah. Your
Yeah.
love of comic books. Like we kind of had a shared history of that. Maybe at one point, what's the person's name? Lily came in and like we had a verbal spar, and I kind of said like, no, such and such is better. And you realize that's also a comic book you like. And you had a little moment of like, oh, I like you.
That's that's the first time that I saw you like stand up for yourself, and I was like, yeah, there's a fire in there. I like this person.
Yeah, I like that.
Perfect. All right, so we have our bonds in place, and then so the way that this usually goes is we have, I think we have just enough time, you know, we can cut it a bit short and finish the rest up next time. But the way that this goes is we start off with our morning tasks. And so the question is, what does I'm going to help set the scene with the apartment and everything, just to get us into the mood. But what does your Devil Butler do upon waking? This may feel like the opening credits to an anime/TV show and can be described as such. It can just be glimpses. So for example, do you sleepily brush your teeth, swiftly crush a rebellion uprising from the devil dimension, make some delicious tea from loose leaves, slip out of your human skin for a while and relax, whatever you do in the morning. And then you will choose 2 morning tasks for your Devil Butler to perform, and you can't choose the same one twice. So unless you have, because Sherry has the morning taskmaster, right? So she has more options than this one. So the basic options are look up recipes online and reconsider the cafe's menu, tell the group what you're doing with today's menu, and take 1 to 3 devilish service tokens for it. Then spend time on the social media pages of the cafe, responding to customers and inquiries. I'm getting flashbacks to when I used to work like, at a thing. Anyway, tell the group what the customers are talking about, and you gain 1 prestige point. Then the other option is to check in on a friend or rival, describe how the interaction goes. I may roleplay the friend or rival, or we can just keep it brief. If so, say if there's a possibility they'll show up at the cafe today, which means the next session, and I'll take notes. Then the last option is interact with any of the Devil Butlers or the Young Witch Master in such a way that your playbook specific triggers for receiving devilish tokens are activated. The other Devil Butlers may choose to interact with you and activate their triggers as well, if it makes sense in the fiction, right? So these are our options, but I will go ahead and describe what we see. I'm just going to review what we have, because we're starting out in our home together. And I think it's one of those anime sequences where I really hear the song in my head, so I think I just have to say what the song is. So it's the opening song for Madoka Magica. I will put a link. I will say right now, no, I can't describe what's going, because it'll spoil it for Sherry, who hasn't watched it yet. Okay, anyway, that's what the song sounds like. Don't look at the comments, avoid spoilers. So, but so it's an upbeat song, and what we see at first is just the city. Like it's before the sun rises, it's very quiet. We see people setting up in the market nearby. We see people slowly getting ready to go to work. But then we see the train station slowly come to life nearby, and that's when the music kicks in. And we see the whole city, like the camera suddenly moves, pans up. We see the whole city slowly coming to life as the sun rises up. And we see our modern apartment. It's right by the train station. I think we see a lot of glass. It's a lot of white. And we zoom in on all of the arcane action figures and dolls before we zoom in and see our young witch master, who has, oh, I can't wait to find the perfect picture. I'll do that after the session. But anyway, and so the hair's a mess because they're in bed, they're asleep, and then they're holding on to one of the figures. They're a bit too old for this. They're already 12 years old, but they brought the figure to bed. And they have way too many blankets on top of them. They have like those weighted blanket things, and then more and more and more on top as we see. And then there's like, we can see in the background, they left a video game console on, so it's still stuck in the video game. We can see that they were in the middle of a fighting game with a character that suspiciously looks very close to, I'm still memorizing names. It looks a lot like Kavira. Like it's like a Guilty Gear kind of game, right? So one of those intense like anime fighting games, but it's like frozen there. And so our young master slowly wakes up, and I'd like to, so this is before we choose the tasks. This is just a brief description of what you're up to: brushing your teeth, crushing rebellion, so on and so forth, before we choose the options. So I think it makes sense to start with Sherry's character, who may be up at the crack of dawn anyway. So
so I think what you see is it's sort of like you hear the door, like the bell over the cafe door ring, and she's sort of stepping out into the street, and you see her putting on these perfect little gloves, the ones that just go up to the wrist, and sort of striding off in her very high heels, click, 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 down the sidewalk, clearly heading towards the train station. It's very early still, as you said, before the sun is up.
Okay, perfect. And then as we switch over to our next character, I think the exact opposite. I'd like to see, what is Gel up to?
Imagine it's like a montage thing where it'll show like one person getting ready, and then it cuts to Gel like sleeping and snoozing an alarm. Shows another person getting ready, cuts back to her, snoozes the next alarm. And like she's got the very like thick hair that's kind of obscuring her face, and as she's snoring, she's blowing snot bubbles, but she's an ooze creature, so it's her own nose that's like making bubbles and kind of popping. And then eventually the sentient curtains like just kind of get annoyed and like flip her out of bed. And it's the very stereotypical, like she has not woken up yet, sleepily brushing her teeth, but everyone else is like leaving for the day and she's still getting ready.
I like the idea of the sentient witch fabric is the one moving your arm, so you're forced to brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, it's like the sentient shower curtain or something.
Yeah, exactly. I like this. Yeah, maybe what we see, just to make sense in the modern apartment, is we see whatever could be fabric or material of some kind. It changes into that particular shimmery, magical thing, so we know it can move in the apartment. I think it would be interesting. Okay, and then so while the snoozing is going on, once again, I just kind of like the idea of opposites. What do we see Kavira up to?
Yeah, so I have this scene where the style of our anime shifts very suddenly, and we're out on the balcony, and she's standing with the wind blowing, her hair is blowing a little bit, and this mask is kind of moving on her face, and you can tell her eyes are closed, and she's just standing there. And then there's the zoom in flash, the eyes open, and she screams, and you can see just flashes of the sword a couple of times. And then we zoom out, and a couple of watermelon pieces fall into a glass of soda, and she picks it up and starts sipping and leans back in this big chair that she's sitting next to.
So good. I can imagine like right before you slashed, it was like close up onto the mask and everything. Yeah, exactly. And then the animation style shifts again. And what do we see of Vel?
Yeah, so I think that we see Vel is just sort of like sat on a couch in the apartment, they are wearing like sort of an outsized sweater. Not sure exactly where that's come from, but they're set up with their knees up, and they've got kind of there's a sort of discarded copy of like trying to think of a name, like Vogue or something similar of a similar nature, sort of on the floor next to them as they're sort of scrolling through their phone. And I think we get that kind of the callback. We get the sound of the watermelon cutting going on outside, and you just see sort of one eyebrow go up as they continue sort of scrolling through their.
Perfect. I like it. All right. And then so now we get to choose our morning tasks. So I forgot to mention this is the morning and evening service day tab right before the NPCs. So I want to ask Miss Bond, which morning task do you choose first?
Study the competition.
Oh, nice. Okay. So that's your your unique one. Let me go back to what it says. Could you read it out for us, please?
Yeah, describe which cafe, butler, or demon lord you're studying and how. And then I take some number of devilish surface tokens. And so there is a cafe that is not far from the fish market that has gotten a lot of buzz for its kitsune ramen. And essentially my nature and competition, that I have to go and see what it is that they're doing with their kitsune ramen and make sure that ours is the supreme kitsune ramen. So I think that's the cafe is called, let's see here, probably the Fox House.
Cute.
And yeah, and it is really cute. It's someone with some supernatural background has something to do with this, but fortunately they're not a morning person. So essentially I follow one of their cooks from the fish market, and you kind of see this thing of her in her very perfect outfit, waiting, like standing behind these big fish tanks, or big, essentially containers of stacks and crates of fish and on ice and things like that. She's standing there and watching. And every time he moves from a booth, she waits and then tick over to the next one. and then eventually makes it in. And there's that thing of when he goes into the kitchen from behind, just before the door latches, she catches it, holds it. And you see that sort of demonic thing where her eyes sort of shift inwards and go and look, and she waits until he's not looking, and she steps in. And essentially she goes dark. She becomes her mist self, and she sort of goes up onto the ceiling and watches the preparation the whole time. So they make their own fish cakes.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So their texture is softer and more gentle than if you bought the purchased ones that were already rolled so tightly and ground something. So it's like, she's like, oh, we could do this. We could do this and spice it even better. So that was my thinking.
Yeah, and so I got a picture for the chef because I had to.
So, all right.
In case they decide to show up again. Because my next question for you is, you realize that the chef is sort of showing off? Like, there's a way that you cook when people are watching, and there's a way that you cook when there's no one else there. And when that dawns on you, that's when you see them look towards your direction and wink at you.
Oh, let's see here. And I think you see like she doesn't like that. She does that sort of stir the mist, kind of does that. Because now she has to figure out when it was that he figured it out, because everything after that is probably not the actual process. So, yes. So she, All right, so then it is watching for a time that she can extract herself with dignity.
Exactly. Okay, so
So,
what's the cafe called again? Fox House, is that right?
yeah, Fox House.
Okay, Chef of the Fox House. So we'll give them a name and stuff later. But they have like soft white hair, very gentle eyes.
I'm sure someone would find that attractive. So,
Perfect response. Okay, so let's go in the same order. Jill, what do you choose for your morning task?
For her morning task, they'll choose look up or we choose 2, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so first one I think is spend time on social media pages of the cafe responding to customers' inquiries. And she's just on her phone sitting in like the comfier chair in like a position that is not possible for like a human skeleton. Like she's got like one leg over the chair, another like up on a coffee table, just on her phone, like lazily scrolling through. And if anyone asks, like she's working, don't worry, she promises. And she's kind of like reading the different reviews. And let's see, who is our group? So she's kind of hearing about how there's some reviews of students from the magical law school who are like, they have good, really strong espressos and stuff, but there's a little bit too much noise. Cats tend to like lick at some of the papers and stuff, hard to focus, could be better. 6 out of 10. And some of the like retired witches are like analyzing some of our recipes, and they're saying like, oh, like I think the hollow isn't quite right. When I make it, this is how I make it. And they talk about their like passed down from their grandparents hollow recipe that they like judge us for, but still pretty good, 8 out of 10. And that's kind of like what she's doing through the whole day, as she's just like calling out what people are saying.
Nice. Okay, and then we'll come back to your second choice in a bit. And yeah, so and then next, Kavira, what do you choose?
I want to. Oh my gosh! As Jell is scrolling through the thing, I want to have just like the split frame, and the other half of the screen is Kavira out on the porch reading the same reviews, but her response is, "You don't talk about Mr. Mustafa is that way. I'm gonna." She's like angrily responding to the people who are complaining about the cats.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I am picking spend time on social media pages.
Perfect. I love the idea that maybe you're just flooding with pictures of cats, like in response. Look at this. This is adorable.
How can you complain about this? This is the perfect animal, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So cute. I like the idea, like above because you're in the balcony, so on the roof there are a few cats. Like there are 3 of them looking down, watching, going, like, yeah, you tell them. All right, and then what is Vel up to for their first morning task?
Well, I'm very much going to follow suit on this one, and I think actually, yeah, because we've got the split screen set up, I think we kind of get then like a third panel open up between the 2 of them in that way that it's kind of like obviously implying that Vel is speaking to both of them at the same time, again we see kind of him looking up from his phone as well and saying, well, I've just been examining the rankings for on the Butler popularity site, and it looks like Jell has just drawn neck and neck with Kavira. Interesting.
Absolutely terrible. So go ahead and take your prestige point. It's so funny. Also stirring up the other butlers. Yeah, and I think this is a good time for us to, like, when we scroll, we see some of the other butlers from the other cafe, which we're going to meet later, but the competition, basically. All right. And then, so we circle back. Yeah, I think we have enough time. Yay. So, Miss Bond, what's your second task?
I think it's my other special move that I can take, which is where I get back to the kitchen and I start experimenting before anyone else is in there so that I have that calm and that time. So I have gone through and purchased fish from all the same places that the chef did. I've brought it back and I'm going to make my own fish cake. So she essentially, that's the whole trick to it. She's, you see her kind of like, she's very like, I should say professional with the knife and everything, and she cuts the fish and everything. And then she gets to that point where she's got all the things and all the spices, and she stops and she goes, I need the dye. And it's like all of a sudden it's this panic moment because she has to find the perfect color for the circle of the fish that's in the middle for the spiral. And she's like, she runs over to the vials and she's like, which one will we use?
Yeah, and I like the idea that there are 3 different ones. Like, one is you can see the sakura blossoms moving in, so it's a perfect. It's when you catch the blossoms, like when they're peak pink. But there are a few others, but that's the one that
The
maybe
beauty
caught
of
on to you.
youth. Yes. All right. And she sort of puts her hands, yes, and I'm committing, and she will pick it.
And I think we see a suspiciously pink cat that has, pushed around the vials a bit.
Yes. Oh, and if that's true, she was like, let's see here. So she will call them, I think that she never remembers the names of the cats. So she calls them all Mr. Boots. And she's like, all right, Mr. Boots, Mr. Pink Boots, you sit here. And she actually has him watch as she's making the fish roll because, human food that cats dream of is in fact the signature in some ways. So she's like, has him take for the fish roll or the fish cake to see if it's good. And until she gets the high sign from the cat, which is he tries to dive towards the bowl, she keeps on working on it. Seems reasonable.
One of our cats is misbehaving. Anyway, so our next one, who was up next last time?
I think it was me.
Oh yeah, that's right. So what's your second task?
The second one is look up recipes online and reconsider the cafe's menu. I think it's Jell saying like, don't worry, I've got the tea under control. I read a new thing that I really sweated over last night, and it's like sun tea or something similar, where it just kind of cuts to a bunch of big pictures sitting overnight that she did literally nothing to work on, but she tells people like, I worked on this, I researched it, it's fine. And so it's just more pictures of, or like a flashback of her last night sitting out in the sun as like the tea is brewing next to her. And she's just on her phone again, and then lazily brings the tea inside when it's ready to, or when it's all steeped.
Nice. Okay, so how many tokens would you like to take?
I'll do all 3.
Why not start out with
Yeah.
So the game still has we'll get into that next time, but Joel's aware of it. We do have a thing where if you hit 5, you'll be tempted to unleash hell because it's just hard not being a demon lord anymore. But anyway, Joel's still well under it at 3, so it's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like how there's so many cats involved in this cafe. All right, and so next, what do we see of Kavira? What's your second task?
Yeah, so I think we don't see Kavira at first. We just hear the bell over the cafe door ring, and Miss Bond is working in the kitchen, and Kavira is just like sneaking in the back of the kitchen. My guess is that Miss Bond would notice at some point. And if I get called out, it's the like, oh, I'm not doing anything, and you can see this big pile of kale and a jar of protein powder, and I'm like experimenting with weird recipes, trying to come up with something palatable.
Oh, I like the idea that like you've got those, you're going to sneak to, like the other part of the kitchen. There's like a door that separates from the hot kitchen to the cool prep area. And it's like when you start to move between those, you see her shoe kind of go out and stop the door from moving. And she's like, what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to go by.
Because you better not waste those greens.
I promise I'm not.
That child. Always picking fights they can't win.
Perfect.
So I'm going to take 2 tokens.
Nice. I really like that. Okay, and then Val, what is your second task?
David.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Sorry, I was spaced out. I'm going to have a scene with our master, I think, or interact with our master. I just need to double check the.
Ooh, yeah, the trigger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. So I think that one of my triggers is you pamper or spoil our young witch master. So I think we just kind of get like that the sort of little montage of like Val sort of like brushing his hair and like making a vague attempt to sort of adjust his clothing into a presentable state, and serving his breakfast, which is almost certainly something covered in hollandaise sauce, and yeah.
And we see him keep yawning, and I think there's a moment where he keeps trying to set aside the food to pick up the controller again, and you just keep putting the food back in front of him. So how many tokens do you want to take for that?
I think I'm going to take 2 for that.
Yeah, sounds fair. Okay, so with that, we see our young master. He yawns. There's a moment where he just sort of like rolls into the closet and then rolls back out covered in all of those layers, just like ready for the day. And then he lets out this big smile and looks at you, Val, and they say, Val, I'm really excited for the day ahead. Are you?
Of course, young master, I am practically quivering with anticipation. I am sure it will be a rewarding day as ever.
And then he sort of stops. I didn't understand all of that, but yes. And he takes out, oh, Val, I got you this. And he brings out you can see he searches through all the layers. Wait, no, not that one. No, I found it. And then he pulls out, it is this really old Game Boy Advance. And he was like, I found it online. I knew you'd like it. It exactly matches your eyes. And then he pushes it towards you.
Why, thank you. That's a most generous gift, young master. I shall enjoy it immensely, I am sure.
And I think what I'd like to ask is, So the moment you touch the Game Boy Advance, we go into a flashback where we see him in the library fighting this mid-boss that looks like Vel in sprite form in the game. What was Vel in the middle of doing right before the young master summoned you?
Yeah, I think that I actually think, yeah, no, I'm going to go that way. I think that Vel had been planning to attempt to make amends with Chantal. Was ferrying some sort of conciliatory gift for them when yes, he was brought through into the real world.
Yeah, and I think what we see is like a shot of Chantal waiting, not knowing what's going to happen, and then we just cut to the summoning circle growing and activating from the console as it starts to fill up that room in the library, and we see Vel filling up the space. Um, a close up of that grin. Yeah, and I think this is a good place, unless someone wants to throw in something to stop the session for today. I kind of like we close up on Vel and then the ending music starts for this. This is one of those like short episodes they put online to get people interested in the anime, so that they can watch when it comes out. So I think the last shot we see is of people leaving comments on YouTube, like, oh my gosh, my favorite is blah blah blah, going on and on, like when people pick clear favorites before the anime has even started. uh and there's a lot of speculation because there's no manga, so it's a completely original anime. I'm just gonna put that out there. So we are going to have our stars and wishes off recording, but for everybody who is watching or listening, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. I'm really excited to get into this. I think everybody made wonderful characters, so I can't wait to see what happens next. So thank you so much. Bye, everybody.